Ever since AMFLOW released the DJI Avinox-equipped eMTB, the world has been afire. We've seen a lot of new bikes released. This thing has been a major disruption to the e-bike space. And today, we're gonna be dissecting the new AMFLOW PL Carbon Pro. So some of you might be wondering, what does AMFLOW mean? Well, you're gonna have to stay tuned to the end of the video because I've got the answer. But before we go any further, I've got a huge favor to ask you guys. The smart people behind the scenes here have told me that 70% of you guys watching this video are not yet subscribed to the channel. But it would be hugely appreciated if you guys took a quick second to hit subscribe and joined our channel for more future videos. So let's learn about the AMFLOW. While AMFLOW is a brand that we'd never heard of until the bike had released, DJI is a company that I think most riders and action sports enthusiasts have heard of. They've been making action cameras and drones for quite a long time. Brushless motors, battery management, power delivery, all are things that DJI is very familiar with and is honestly probably leading the pack in many ways on. So the DJI Avinox drive unit has some promising tech and features inside. Now this drive unit has 4 modes, standard preset modes. You've got auto, trail, eco, and turbo. And what's amazing about this bike is the smile-inducing boost button, which you can activate here on the wireless controller. You hold down that top button and then you get 30 seconds of just absolute mind-blowing turbo boost that peaks out at 1,000 watts of power and 120 Newton meters of torque. When you are out of that 30-second turbo boost, which you can continuously reactivate, and we do regularly as we're trying to test the durability of this thing, you get down into 105 Newton meters and 850 watts of peak power. So it is still among one of the most powerful drive units, even when you're not in that turbo boost mode. Oh man. Absolutely ridiculous here in this turbo mode. 16. Wow. All right, so almost didn't make the left turn as the front tire was just peeling off. That is the final countdown for the turbo boost timer, letting you know that your 30 seconds is up. 19.1 second. I just did it on another full power bike in 26 seconds. And I gotta say, which I already knew because we've ridden this bike a fair amount, that turbo is just out of control. Inside this drive unit is a compound planetary gear set, which gives off some of the rather impressive features and capabilities. The gearbox delivers a high gear ratio in a smaller space compared to some other types of drive units, and we're hoping that also means more durability and longevity. So as we could and should expect from a tech-savvy company like DJI, it is equipped with state-of-the-art integrations and tech. So first up, we've got this 2-inch OLED full-color display hub. You've got USB-C connectivity here, and it is fully touchscreen, as you probably heard and saw, even with gloves on. We've had it in some wet conditions with a little bit of rain. This touchscreen is still working and pretty easy to navigate. It is, again, the same screen that is found on their DJI Action Cam. So pretty durable and robust system there. This bike, as slim and stealthy as it is, has an 800 watt-hour internal battery. There is also a 600 watt-hour option, though with this bike weighing in at 46.5 pounds, I'm not quite sure why you'd want to go with the 600 watt-hour battery. Although it is about 2 pounds lighter. That 800 watt-hour battery, I believe, is about 8.5 pounds. Now, I will say, depending especially on how much you're using that turbo boost button, this bike's a bit thirsty, as you could imagine, right? Calling on 120 Newton meters of torque and 1,000 watts of power, you're gonna be pulling battery. And even when you're using that 105 Newton meters of torque and 850 watts, you're still pulling quite a bit of battery. What's really neat though is that Avinox has probably one of the coolest, most user-friendly and easiest apps to navigate, and you can customize a wide variety of the power delivery modes and how they come on. You've got everything from update notifications, which I clearly need to do, but you can customize your assist profiles for each power mode, and it will give you estimated ranges in each of those modes. Assistance, max torque, assisted start, continued assist, overrun. All of these things are easily customizable. You can also choose what you have on your display screen, which is a really neat feature. So within this smart unit display, which is touchscreen compatible, is actually the same screen that is found on the DJI Action Cam. You can slide between a number of different data tracking points. You can customize those points within the Avinox app. You can also sync with a heart rate monitor and capture, I think, nearly 50 points of data. G-force and gradient meters are two of our favorites. If you've got a heart rate monitor, you can sync with that, but it'll show everything from cadence, motor power, the cyclist's torque or power being delivered, speed, estimated range, mileage, a lot of really cool data. And it's all customizable easily in the app. And again, gloves on, moisture, dirt on the screen, any of that stuff, it works really well and is super easy and user forward. From there, you've got a bike protection option, which gives you the opportunity to run a phone key and theft detection. So if you turn that on and your phone is close enough, it will unlock the bike. And if you're far away, the bike will be locked. And if that bike gets moved or disturbed, it will send you a push notification. You could have that flag as an alarm or some sort of a chime on your phone to let you know that your bike is being moved. And it can also, as you see, show you exactly where that bike is and help you find that bike if it does get moved from where you last left it. Another really cool feature about this bike is that AMFLOW ships it with probably the most powerful and fastest charging system out on the market. It is a 12 amp, 508 watt charger, and it is significantly more powerful than anything out there. And it will charge an empty 800 watt hour battery to 75% in about 95 minutes, and the 600 watt hour battery in a little under an hour and a half. So that is really impressive. Now, it's not just the speed that's impressive, it's also the fact that there's a very in tune battery health management system on board, and that it will do everything from discharge the bike. If you leave it sitting for too long at 100%, it will slowly discharge that battery to maintain cell health. Also, if it senses that the temperature is too high or too cold, it will modify the output from that charger to not damage cells. So if it's really cold or really hot, it will not be cranking full power juice into that battery just to help maintain the longevity and lifespan. DJI and AMFLOW have quoted about 500 charge cycles before this battery drops to 80%. So that would equate to someone draining the battery on this bike every single day for a year and a half before it dropped down to 80% capacity, and that would be a really awesome goal. So with the electronics and the drive unit out of the way, let's talk about the bike itself, because no matter how good a motor or electronic system is, it's not worth a whole lot if the bike it's bolted to isn't that great. It's got a 4-bar suspension platform. AMFLOW worked with Fox to get a pretty solid tune out of the rear end. It's got 150 millimeters of travel out back with 160 millimeters up front. We're testing a size large, which has a 475 millimeter reach. I'm 5'11", and maybe I'm a bit old school, but for me, on an e-bike, I like a slightly 5 to 10 millimeter shorter reach than a non-e-bike. So we'll put the rest of the numbers up there, but I think for the most part, 64.5 degree head tube angle, 77 degree seat tube angle, I believe. It's a pretty, I would say, like, not conservative in a bad way, but a safe geo set, and I think it'll probably please a lot of riders, and they've got a pretty good range of sizes available. So some of the key features on the frame, it is obviously a carbon fiber frame. You'll notice a lot of in-house AMFLOW parts. We've got wheels, bar and stem, which we actually replaced. We'll get into that a little bit in our ride impressions. One of the neatest things about the frame that's like kind of a small detail but really makes a difference is the charge port and charge port cover. It's very well protected and sealed. However, it's not a pain in the butt to open. There will be two models available. This is the PL Carbon Pro, and then there will be the regular PL non-Pro version. Obviously, spec will change on those two models. Right now, the bike is not available in many countries, North America, United States being one of those regions. Before we get into first thoughts and ride impressions, the cliffhanger, what does AMFLOW mean? Well, the AM is for the unit of current, ampere, and flow is the literal translation of the word flow. So it is ampere flow, the flow you feel on the trail, the flow of electricity through the bike, however you want to take it. But that is what AMFLOW means. So with the mystery unraveled, let's share our first impressions. This DJI Avinox drive unit is very, very, very impressive. The power in kind of the normal preset modes is really great, exceptional, I would say. And then the turbo boost feature is game-changing. It's a whole different class. Integration, touchscreen, remote controls on the bars. The e-bike industry should be shaking in their boots, I think. This is for sure a step ahead. Getting into the bike itself. We've had some mixed opinions so far. Again, not a review, but it is a bit flexy. At 46 pounds with an 800 watt-hour battery, you know, AMFLOW's first attempt at a bike, I think they've done a really great job overall. The frame's a bit flexy. We initially were trying to chase down some stuff. You'll notice we've got a one-up bar and stem on here. That really helped. It eliminated some of the flex out of the bar stem area. However, the rest of the frame, it still has a little bit of flex. How noticeable is that? It's not noticeable until it is. You know, that's where the long-term testing will come into play, more riders, more time, etc. But it's something worth noting up front. The suspension platform I personally liked a lot. There's kind of a small window of it being a little stiff, kind of hitting some square stuff like when you're unweighting the bike, and it uses a lot of travel. I think sizing up to a little bit larger volume reducer, which we might, you know, and probably will do for the long-term review, will help go a long ways, because I am regularly using all the travel. I don't ever feel a harsh bottom out, which is rad, but I'm looking at the ring and I'm resetting it every shot, and we're constantly at, you know, getting down to the bottom of the travel. The comfort is really impressive though, because of that supple suspension when you're seated, long pedaling days, when you're riding over rough stuff. And to me, a big upside of the slightly flexy chassis is not only comfort, but traction. As you can see where we're riding today, there's a lot of hand scratch trails, off camber, it's dry, it's loose, and a very stiff bike. It's a little slower sometimes because you can't stick on the ground. It's kind of wanting to push you and slide you outside, whereas a little bit of conformity from a frame is nice. You can also learn to time that snap and that flex out of corners, but of course there is a downside as well, and we'll work to see how big of a downside it is and who might notice it, right? Because there's obviously a lot of riders out there that either are light or are not pushing hard enough or don't have the terrain to where you're really going to notice it. Turbo boost is running out. Let me reactivate, back to back. 26% gradient at the steepest. Light work, light work. So yeah, for a first impression kind of a vibe, this is awesome. I think they've done a really good job. I'm very impressed. This is an attention getter for sure, and it's gonna upset some things in the e-bike world. So once again, you guys, I would please ask if you had any fun in this video or got any useful information, please consider subscribing to the channel. We also will be posting a lot more content to our members only channel, as well as doing some fun raffles, discount codes, and other product giveaways. So make sure you check out our members option. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Ask any questions that you'd like to see us cover in the long-term review, and we'll see you guys out on the trails.